literally looks like he's sweeping George Hill off with one hand, and George Hill has this look on his face like there's absolutely nothing that I can do about this. It's just a funny looking little picture there as the Cavaliers, as we said, they went to Cincinnati last night. They won the de facto home game, even though that was way closer to Indianapolis than it was to Cleveland. I think Cleveland had to fly. I think they were like, 5 hours away or whatever, and Indianapolis drove like 2 hours, hour and 45 minutes to the game. But LeBron James looked pretty good last night. Cavs in general, a lot of guys getting looks. We mentioned that with Eddie Jansen yesterday when we were talking about the Cavs here. David Blatt being able to get a lot of guys looks. The minutes, when you look at the sheet, now this is preseason, and obviously it's going to change, but you go down the sheet, and it's really relatively even. I won't even say the names, but these are just the minutes down the score sheet. 23, 17, 18, 21, 18, 16, 16. And then you've got some guys that played, 12 minutes, 7, 3. It gets lower as you go, but there's a lot of balance there. You have that ability, and that's what I mean. This is preseason. None of this matters here. I don't care about the actual ins and outs of these games, but it just goes to what Eddie and I were talking about a bit yesterday. The depth of this team going to be big, and the ability to keep those minutes low on guys when they need it and not rack up the miles on guys. I mean, I will say this. I mean, just even if you wanted to just go back to last year and look at what the Heat did, I mean, you could clearly see that in a year where the Heat should have attempted to do something similar as the Cavs are doing here, as far as the minutes go, instead it ended up being a larger burden. And look, you can't anticipate some of that was on Dwayne Wade and his injuries and the various other problems. They chose not to keep Mike Miller, different things like that. But you could see that burden. And then I laugh at that, though, because I have to laugh at the word burden, because at the same time, there's a reason that you make truckloads, Brinks trucks full of money. It's to carry those loads. And I was laughing after the game. The big story everybody's talking about now is because they got the limited minutes game coming up this weekend, and then LeBron and Dirk Nowitzki came out and said, we should cut games out. We should cut games out of the season. There's too many games. And, this just falls right into the whole we talk about it from time. If you can't jump the pole vault to whatever the record is, we'll just lower the record to whatever you can do, that kind of thing. And I laugh at this, because for how long, by the way, have guys been playing I think back Michael Jordan, and I know some people love to do this. I'm not that guy who throws Michael Jordan up every time LeBron James is involved in something. I think Michael Jordan is the best basketball player of all time, and definitely the best I've seen in my lifetime. But even he said, hey, man, that's ridiculous. All I wanted to do is play basketball. And the reason I bring up Michael Jordan is because I think back 1992. I think back a season like that. And there's other ones, plenty of them that you can point out. But think of it, that year, the Bulls went on, because I saw LeBron the other day talking about, well, my summer's a lot shorter than everybody else's, and I'll agree with that. It's because you also have more responsibilities because of the things that you do. I mean, I get that, but that's all part of comes with having the bigger paycheck than the next guy. It's like, I make $10. Why do you make $12? Oh, because I take out the garbage at the end of the day. Oh, well, that makes sense. If I wanted to work a little bit longer, I could do that too. Same thing, except I just used really, really generic terms instead of saying millions and billions of dollars like what these guys are dealing with. But, that all comes with that. Oh, you make an extra $20 million? Why? Because I have to spend 3 weeks of my summer at this basketball camp. Oh, well, okay, you could have those 3 weeks back if you didn't want to go make the money. It's the general trade-off that we all make in life in general, but he was making some comments the other day about how, well, I have such a limited summer as it is because I'm always playing longer than everybody else. And I laugh because I think back to that, like 92. The Bulls had made the playoff run, remember, the year before, won the championship. So they played as many games as you could play that season. They ran the string, then went to Barcelona to be a part of the biggest circus in the world, that first Olympics that had all the NBA players and everything in it. Now, granted, the competition itself wasn't anything, and it was like a giant vacation. They're in Monaco and all kind. But at the same time, they came right back, and I think would they have a couple of weeks, if even, And then they were right back to the next season because a lot of people were thinking that the Bulls were ripe to be knocked off because they basically, Jordan and Pippen had no break that summer. They basically played basketball the entire summer and then got right back to it again. And then the Bulls sucked it up and they won that championship again the next year, which I thought was just so impressive when you consider the fact that their two-star main great players had hardly no vacation at all. And just, but Michael Jordan made the point that if we didn't have 82 games to play, I would have been playing somewhere else. Well, of course, he's also famous for the love of the game clause that he had in his contract. But, same point being, I just think it's funny. And then at the same time, I don't know why we're even having this conversation. Number one, these players are ridiculous for wanting to play less games. Just, suck it up. But anyway, not just that. You can't. You just signed a how many $1 trillion contract with these TV networks. I don't see any of you lining up to write a check and give it back. And actually, that was something that Jordan said too. Say, while these guys are talking about that, they do realize that they'll have to make less money. Are they willing to do that? Because you can't make the same amount of money you make now, but play less games. See, that's it. The players want their cake, and they want to eat it too. They want to still make $10 million for the season or whatever, but they want to make it for 60 games instead of 80 games. And that's not the way it works because you're going to have to cut the TV networks a check back, a rebate, because you just cut 20 valuable games a season. And basically that's more than 20 on TV because that's 20 games per team, but TV is going to carry more than just 20 of those games. So you probably cut 30, 40, maybe upwards of 50 games off of the calendar each season that your various partners are going to televise. You think they're doing that for free? No. But I did get a kick out of the fact that these guys, they want their buildings, their face on the side of buildings, and whatever. It's a society where that's okay. They want to be larger than life. They want all of that. And we're whining about the number of games that we play. Man, come on. Man, seriously, I mean, that's a trip. And I don't know why the NBA is monkeying around with this shorter game either. I mean, all you do when you change the base, that's like baseball deciding, oh, you know what, the fans are bored, so we're going to cut the game down to 7 innings like a softball game. Well, that's great, but you just completely stripped and devalued the game. You've broke the lineage of where it was before to where it is now. You can't just change the fabric of it, and that's kind of what you're doing there. But anyways, so I got a kick out of that. And all of that comes out of the Cavaliers with their victory last night. Day off. Kevin Love banged up with a little neck injury there. Says it's no big deal. We'll see about that. Kyrie Irving did not play last night. Tristan Thompson did. LeBron did. Tristan Thompson, I'm telling you, man, he's going to be a beast on defense this year. But Kyrie looking like he may be able to get in there a little bit tomorrow as well. That's one thing. And there's another reason, circling back to the beginning of this, the depth and those guys playing all those minutes, because that's going to allow you, when you've got a tweak in the back or a tweak in the neck, you may only give a guy a day off. Now you can give them 2 or 3 or whatever you need, because we're deep and we got guys that can cover it. I'm going to just throw this name out there, and if you guys are Hoop fans and you've been watching the Cavs in the preseason, you're with me on this. Lou Amundsen. That guy is a clone of Anderson Varejao. He's throwing his body all over the place. He's hustling for rebounds. I mean, he's just one of those guys you stick at the end of your bench and put in games, and he's just going to drive teams crazy. He is going to drive teams absolutely nuts because he's like Varejao. He never stops. He's a ping pong stick. He just up and down and hustle, man. He's got that floppy hair behind him, and I like Lou Amundsen. I like what he's done, and I knew David Griffin liked him too. He was familiar with him from other stuff, and I like him. I like what Amundsen's done. I don't know if he's going to make this squad, but I would think about him being the third center, third big man there that I keep on that roster down towards the end of the bench, because I like that hustle. That is like having a young fresh-legged Anderson Varejao, throwing him out there, driving teams second units crazy. That could be That could be a nasty energy guy right there. Like what I've seen out of him so far. All right, going to the phone lines, guys. I've kept you waiting long enough. Caller, you're first up on the spot. I lost him just as I went to the phone lines. All right, I'm going to take a break then. I'll take a break. 216-539-7535. 216-539-7535. Give me a call back if you were just on the phone. We'll talk some Cavs. When we come back, I'm going to talk a little bit about the Browns. Don't forget Mike Brandenberry from DidTheTryWinLastNight.com joining us just about 15 minutes from now. We'll talk some baseball with him, but let's talk a little football when we come back. Brian Hoyer had some things to say to the media yesterday. He quickly got out from underneath the specter of that Bleacher Report crap. We'll talk about that. Browns getting ready for Jacksonville. We'll open up the phones. Mike Brandenberry coming. BJ Rudell. A whole lot more. Don't go anywhere. We have just begun the Sports Fix. 216-539-7535. 216-539-7535. Give me a call. We'll be right back.
Public service announcement from the Sports Fix. We here at the Sports Fix and our affiliates would like to apologize for any disturbing verbal actions, but remember, it's better having them trapped in a box than loose on the streets. Public service announcement from the Sports Fix. The Sports Fix, the sports show that cares.
Hey, Sports Fix fans, I'm Fred McLeod, TV voice of the Cavaliers. When I'm not busy taking elbows from my buddy Austin Carr, I'm tuning in to see what the guys are saying. Come on, Cavs!
Fantasy sports lovers, you put so much time, hard work, and effort into playing week to week that it quickly stops being a fantasy and starts getting real. And when the smoke clears, you want to show off those victories with a real prize. I mean, a really real prize. Nobody does that like Fantasy Jocks. The crew over at Fantasy Jocks have beautiful, high-quality, and heavy-duty championship belts, rings, trophies, and so much more for all your fantasy sports needs. There's literally only one place to go. FantasyJocks.com.
I'm Pro Football Hall of Famer Paul Warfield. There's just one place where students are students first and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports help young people become confident leaders and role models and use the skills developed today to do even bigger things in life tomorrow. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education.
This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association.
Sports Fix listeners, like us on Facebook today. Facebook.com/The Sports Fix. Football season is party season at Harry Buffalo North Olmsted. Everyone wins at Harry Buffalo. Every Saturday is Coors Light College Football Saturday with $6 pitchers, 4 bottles for $10, and the Buckeyes in full HD. Football season is most definitely party season, and your headquarters is Harry Buffalo North Olmsted all winter long. Harry Buffalo, join the herd. Have you gotten your copy of Cleveland's Finest yet? Highlighting the best moments, players, and media members in Cleveland sports history? In-depth, personal interviews with some of the top names in Cleveland sports fill the pages of this incredible book. Cleveland's Finest by Vince McKee is this year's must-have book for every Cleveland sports fan. Available now at Amazon.com. Get your copy today. Portions of the Sports Fix brought to you by Quick Lane at Valley Ford Truck, home of the low-price tire guarantee. QuickLane.com/Valley Ford Truck.
You're listening to the Sports Fix.
Welcome back to the Sports Fix, live across the Sports Fix radio network. I was going 100 miles an hour in that first segment. Did I say it was Tuesday? I may have said it was Tuesday in there. For those of you that don't know, it's Thursday. So if I screwed up your whole week, like maybe you heard me say Tuesday and said, oh man, the rent's late or something. It's not late. Or maybe it is. I don't know. But it's not my fault that it is. That's what I'm clarifying. Welcome back in to the Sports Fix. J-Rock back with you here, rolling on across the Sports Fix radio network. Just a few moments, a real short segment here. Just a few moments from now, Mike Brandenberry from DidTheTribeWinLastNight.com will be with us, and we'll talk some baseball as the Royals advance, and we'll talk some Indians as well. BJ Rudell coming up a little bit later on in the show, fantasy football for winners. Apparently I did, because I just had somebody laughing at me there. So